Good evening, everyone. I'm Chanli M. Bignov Bravo. Today I will be discussing the public order, which is known as the foundation of peace, stability, and national development. First of all, what is public order means? Public order refers to a condition where society experiences peace, safety, and stability. It means people can live, work, and move freely without fear of crime, violence, or disorder. It also ensures that individuals can enjoy their rights and freedoms while having a secure environment where development can take place. And now let's discuss the importance of public order. What is the importance of public order? Public order is the backbone of peaceful community. When public order is maintained, people feel safe, communities become more united, and the economy can grow. But when the public order is disrupted, such as through riots, crimes, or unlawful assemblies, the peace and stability of society are threatened. And let's talk about key aspect of public order. Number one, absence of widespread violence. A peaceful society is one where crime and violence are minimized. This allows people to move safely and feel secure in their communities. Two, protection of rights and freedoms. Public order is not just about preventing violence. It also ensures that people can exercise their freedoms like speech, assembly, and movement while balancing safety and responsibility. Three, government responsibility. The government is responsible for enforcing laws, ensuring public safety, and respecting human rights. This includes police visibility, strong institutions, and accountability. And the last is foundation for development. Peace and order play a huge role in social and economic growth. Stability attracts inventors, supports tourism, and strengthens communities.
Good morning, sir. Today I will discuss my topic about disruptions to public order. Disruptions to public order outlining several categories of offenses that undetermine peace and social stability. The following are crimes, riots and unlawful assemblies, public order crimes, and abuse of power. Paano sila nakakapinsala sa mga community at institution? Ang mga crime tulad ng kidnapping, arson at pagpatay ay nagpapagulo sa mga community. Lumilika sila ng takot at binabaliwala ang tiwala sa mga government at ibang official. How crimes weaken communities? Or paano nakakaapekto ang mga krimen sa mga komunidad? When serious crimes happen in a village, city, or province, the first thing that happens is it creates fear among people. They can no longer walk safely on the streets, especially at night. They don't trust their neighbors anymore. Even kids can't go out without someone watching them. Kapag ang lahat ay natatakot, nawawala ang pagkakaisa ng isang community. Hindi na sila nagtutulungan tulad ng dati nilang nakasanayan. Hindi na nagkikita-kita sa mga palaro or pagtitipon kapag mayroong isinagawa sa kanilang lugar. And the whole place becomes sad and disconnected. Second, paano binabaliwala ng mga krimen ang tiwala sa mga institution? Institutions like the government, police, courts, and schools are supposed to protect us and keep society in order. When crimes happen often, or when leaders or officials become victims of crime, people start not trusting them anymore. Like the example I mentioned, in March 2023, a Philippine governor and 5 others were killed in a violent attack. The governor is a government leader who should be working for the good of his people. When he was attacked and killed, it showed that even leaders are not safe. And because of that, people will ask, how can the government and police protect us if they can protect their own leader? Kapag nawala na ang tiwala sa police, hindi na hihingi ng tulong ang mga tao kapag may krimen. Kapag nawala ang tiwala sa government, hindi na susunod ang mga tao sa batas or makikilahok sa mga gawain ng gobyerno. When this happens, institutions can work properly and society becomes more chaotic or magulo. And last, other effects of crimes. Besides fear and lack of trust, crimes have other bad effects. For economy, business owners won't invest money in areas with lots of crimes. So there will be no jobs for people. Families will earn less and the community will become poorer. For education, if schools are not safe, kids won't go to class. They lost their chance to learn and have a good future. For mental health, people who see or experience crime may get anxious or scared or depressed, and these feelings can stay with them for a long time. The second disruptions to public order is riots and unlawful assemblies. Unlawful gatherings are events that have a major impact on public safety and order. It's important to understand the difference between these and peaceful assemblies, which are a right guaranteed to us by law, and how they become a problem when they turn violent. What are riots and unlawful assemblies? Riots, these are violent gatherings of many people that result in chaos, property damage, or even attacks on other people or the police. When people start throwing objects, destroying homes or vehicles, or causing harm, the gathering becomes a riot. Unlawful assemblies. These are any gatherings that violate laws about public assembly, such as meeting without government permission or gathering in a way that endangers others. They can turn into riots when they become violent. Second, how they cause chaos and disturb peace. When there's a riot or unlawful assembly, the first effect is chaos in the area. People become scared. They can no longer go out safely, businesses have to close, and everyone's daily life is disrupted. The community's peace is lost, and there can be harm to lives or property. The difference between unlawful gatherings and peaceful assemblies. It's important to remember that peaceful assembly is a right given to us by the Constitution. This is for people to come together to express their opinions, ask for government change, or celebrate events. For example, protest for human rights or festival gatherings without chaos are peaceful assemblies and allowed by law. Ngunit kapag ang pagtitipon ay naging magulo, kapag nagsimula ng magdulot ng pinsala or kaguluhan ang mga tao, hindi na ito mapayapang pagtitipon. Example, the incident in Davao City. As I mentioned, during a fiesta celebration in Davao City, two separate gatherings turned violent and became riots. A fiesta is supposed to be a happy event for everyone, but because of the chaos or gulo, the police had to respond. Afterward, those involved were charged with alarm and scandal, a law that prohibits events that cause public chaos, fear, or disruption. And last, effects of riots and unlawful assemblies, besides chaos and fear. There are other negative effects. First, negative effects, loss of trust in government and police. People may no longer believe the government or police can protect them when there's chaos. Second negative effect, economic damage. Businesses may lose income when they have to close, and investors may avoid areas with frequent riots. And last, negative effects, harm to lives and property. People may be killed, injured, or lost their homes or jobs. What are public order crimes? These are violations that affect the general order, safety, and comfort of the public. Unlike crimes like murder or theft that have a direct victim, these crimes are often called crimes against society because the harm is felt by everyone. Some examples include: first, drug use and selling. Harms people's health, families, and communities. Second, illegal gambling can reduce a family's income, cause trouble at home, or lead to other crimes. Third, indecency, actions that hurt feelings or harm public morals, like rude behavior in public. And last, illegal gun firing. As you mentioned, this causes fear and danger to people nearby. Second, how they harm society even without a direct victim. The most important thing to remember is that even if no one is directly hurt, these crimes have deep effects. First, loss of peace. When people see or hear about illegal gambling, drug use, or illegal gun firing often, they become scared. They can no longer walk safely on the streets or sleep peacefully at night. The community peace is lost. Second, less trust in each other. When people see many people breaking the law in their area, they no longer trust their neighbors or others in the community. Unity is lost and people becomes disconnected. Example, illegal gun firing incidents reported by PNP. As I mentioned, the Philippine National Police reported many cases of illegal gun firing, including those involving police officers themselves. Firing guns is often done during events like New Year's, but when it's illegal, without permission, or in places with many people, it's very dangerous. Bullets can hit innocent people by accident, causing injury or death, or scaring everyone, especially when police officers who are supposed to enforce the law break it, people may no longer trust them. And last, other effects of public order crimes beside peace and trust, there are other negative effects. First, negative effects is economy. Business owners won't invest money in areas with many such crimes, so there will be no jobs for people. Second, education. Kids who grow up in an environment with drugs or gambling are more likely to be influenced and lost their chance to study properly. Next, for mental health, the fear and chaos from these crimes can cause anxiety, depressions, or other mental health problems for people. In the end, public order crimes are not just simple law violations. They are actions that change everyone's life in the community. That's why it's important for everyone, people, police, and government to work together to stop these crimes and keep our society orderly, safe, and happy. Thank you.
And last, we are discussing how public order is maintained. The question is how public order is maintained. Number one, law enforcement. Police prevent crime, respond to emergencies, and ensure that laws are followed. Their presence builds trust and discourages criminal activity. A fair justice system guarantees that criminals are held accountable through proper arrests, trials, and punishments. This helps maintain trust in the rule of law. And the second is the government program, this includes community safety programs, traffic management, anti-crime initiatives, and barangay level involvement. And government programs encourage cooperation and strengthen public safety. And third is safe schools. Safe schools protect students and create an environment where learning can happen without fear. This also includes preventing bullying, violence, or illegal activities. And the last is child-friendly communities. Child-friendly barangay promotes cooperation between the community and law enforcement. These programs protect children, promote peace, and strengthen family-centered safety. In conclusion, public order is more than just the absence of crime or violence. It is the foundation that allows every part of society to function smoothly. When public order is maintained, people feel safe in their homes, students can learn in peaceful schools, businesses can grow without fear, and communities can work together toward progress. Public order also ensures that our rights and freedoms, such as speaking our minds, gathering peacefully, and practicing our beliefs, are exercised responsibly and safely. It creates a balance between individual freedom and collective security. At the same time, maintaining public order is not only the responsibility of the government or the police. It is a shared responsibility of every citizens. We all contribute to peace by following the law, respecting others, participating in community programs, and promoting unity instead of conflict. A stable and orderly society attracts investments, support tourism, and encourages development, showing that peace is not just social requirements but also an economic advantage. Countries and communities that prioritize peace in order are that ones that grow stronger, more prosperous, and ultimately, public order is essential for building a nation where people can live with dignity, security, and hope. Without peace, there can be no stability. Without stability, there can be no progress. And without progress, the dreams of individuals and communities cannot be fully realized. So, as we move forward, let us remember that maintaining public order is a key to creating a brighter, safer, and more prosperous future for everyone. And that's all. Thank you for listening and watching.